Hello and welcome to Homer for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Today we are going to be reading between lines 430 and 441 in Book 12 of the Iliad, in which Hector has a heroic moment and we hear a very beautiful metaphor about a woman spinning. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it. Yea, everywhere the walls and battlements were spattered with blood of men from both sides, from Trojans and Achaeans alike. Howbeit, even so, they could not put the Achaeans to rout, but they held their ground, as a careful woman that laboureth with her hands at spinning, holdeth the balance and raiseth the weight and the wool in either scale, making them equal, that she may win a meager wage for her children. So evenly was strained their war and battle, until Zeus vouchsafed the glory of victory to Hector, son of Priam, that was first to leap within the wall of the Achaeans. He uttered a piercing shout, calling aloud to the Trojans, "Rouse, you horse-taming Trojans, break the wall of the Argives, and fling among the ships wondrous blazing fire." So powerful. Let's do it in the Greek. Hante de purgoi kai apalxiasai matifoton, raratam foteroth napotron kai akaion. Aldur hosedunan tofobon poies ayakaion. Lakon hoste talan tagune kerne tisaletes. Atestat monacus akaerionam pisanelke. Yesas duas in a paisine kaamistonare pai. Osmin tuan epies maket tatot tolemoste. Quingote des deus cruo do superteron hectoridoque. Priamide hos proto taseletot, selatot hecos acaion. Ausen de diapusion troesigegonos. Ornus hippodamoi troes renus de teikos. Argeion cae naus in eniet despiraes pur. Wonderful. What are we to make of men on the battlefield and the metaphor for the overcoming of the balance that we were talking about yesterday, this false equivalency between the two sides, and that eventually one must win out? What are we to make of the fact that the breaking of this equivalency is done by Zeus when he vouchsafes the glory of Hector, and at the same time the idea of equivalence at its utmost, after all of these adumbrations of the war and these Homeric similes, is done through the image of the woman, who is making a aiekeamistos, right? So the unassuming or unfitting wage, a meager wage, as the translation is described. What are we to make of the fact that the woman is working? She's weaving. We have more balancing going on here, right? So she's pulling the balance. There is other work of a woman, like in the Iliad. Women also, as a metaphor, they work on ivory, right? They work on, they cook, right? There's women's works are a common Homeric simile, but I find this one particularly important because the idea of building the wall that has come all the way from Book 7 and has been reiterated as a historic object, something that eventually gets destroyed by the gods, something that is processed and used by the Iliadic hero, right? These images of the wall, I think, define a huge technological plot for the Iliad and helps us think about how Homer might have thought about technology and how Homer might have thought about destiny on the battlefield. And just as much as women weave in this metaphor, so too do the fates weave destiny. There's also that, we saw that earlier. But I think that Zeus the equalizer, or Zeus the unequalizer, it's sort of a vote in confidence of doing one's best, because even though the woman is making a meager wage, it's still somehow good enough for Zeus to vouchsafe on one side or the other. So Zeus vouchsafes on Hector's side, and Hector leaps over the wall and he gives that really, really triumphant cry. Ornus hippodamoi troes, right? When were we horse destroying, right? Let's break through the wall. Right, and let's put upon, let's put a fire upon the ships. Not even, we've gone past the building of the path. Hector now sees beyond that. He says we're going to go straight to the fire aspect. I think that the inclusion of this metaphor is really beautiful, and we sort of saw leading up to it with these other ideas of ameinon, togetherness, otherness, and constant fight, and misplaced equality. And now here, of course, we have the evocation of Zeus in order to resolve the situation. I think it's very poignant, and I think it's very beautiful. And if I were to leave you with something, I would ask you, dear Homer audience, on this fine autumn day, if there's a point that you felt that you had something in your life that was brought to conclusion by some vouchsafing of a glory or of an intention or of a sort of vote of confidence on one half or the other with that choice, and if you felt that choice then was something that you learned from, because they will surely learn from this as we head out of book 12 with the further reading tomorrow and subsequent days. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.